Hi, I'm Latangela Faye, and this is the Louisiana Film Channel's Wednesday Night at the Movies. The Louisiana Film Channel is a new entertainment service. Louisiana Film Channel will be available on all devices and showcasing Louisiana films, filmmakers, and our unique lifestyles. If you're a filmmaker, you can submit your title by clicking Content Partner on our homepage. For Louisiana lovers across the globe, you can download the app starting December 1st and experience everything Louisiana, from Gators to Mardi Gras, the music, food, and culture. Now here's my co-host, Taylor Sharp, with a powerful film from Jalea Jackson. This is Things with Feathers.
Thanks, Latangela. We're joined right now by Jalea Jackson of Jalea Jackson Productions, discussing her new film, Things with Feathers. Jalea, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being here. Is Things with Feathers, is this your first film, or have you done some others in the past?
This is kind of the first film that I produced and directed outside of LSU. So I did a few through LSU, but it's like my kind of big major film, short film.
Okay, and look, without giving away any spoilers, we're all excited to watch it. Give me a little background on this story. What can we expect from this film?
Yeah, so this film deals with an issue with the family and how they handle the situation, how they both react to it, and just how like the family, um, how they communicate with one another in regards to a situation that happens within the family. That's kind of something that you can expect. It's realist, it's surreal, it has drama, it has kind of all those family elements that you would expect within a film.
Okay,
So that's
and
kind of what to expect.
what specifically inspired you to make this film?
Yeah, so I went to the Nate Parker Foundation, and I had one of our mentors kind of saying that you have a story that you're unwilling to share, that you're kind of being selfish. So I wanted to share this with the community, have a discussion about this topic, and kind of just bring it to the forefront. That's kind of what inspired me to share and make this film.
Okay, well, Jalea, I'm anxious to watch it, so let's just jump right into it. Here is Things with Feathers.
Join the conversation now, live on Twitter. Meet the cast and get details on Louisiana Film Channel swag. Twitter alert now at hashtag LA Film Channel. Welcome back, movie lovers. I'm Latangela Faye, and this is Wednesday Night at the Movies, presented by the Louisiana Film Channel. What a great show we've had so far. And now, settle in with your favorite movie snack, and let's pick up where we left off before the break.
Aaliyah! 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 I've been looking all over for you. You gonna swing all day or come back down to reality with the rest of us? Come on.
You ready to get this car started? Huh? Because it look like they ready. Let's see what we can do. All right? What's up, y'all? Ain't much. I got one question. You ready to get this bad boy started? Yeah! All right. Let's take the positions. Let's see what we're gonna do first. All right? Come on, princess. Madame. All right. Now, the first thing of business we got to do, we got to fit this doomhigger going on right here. This is a little bit out of place, but before then, I think we all right. Jesus Christ. Woo! Let's go, shall we? Where's the first destination?
Capital One.
Capital One. Where we gonna play robbers? I like robbers. We gotta get the back.
Come on, y'all. Heavenly Father, we thank you for family and for fellowship. Never let us take you or anything for granted. Bless this food so that it not only nourishes our bodies, but our souls. Let the family say, Amen. Amen. Pass me them potatoes, baby. Oh, Lord, where's your mom coming things of it? That word, huh? Mm-hmm.
That's what you say.
That's what she said, right?
There we go.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Ask for what you want, baby. Tell them what you want. A big old piece of cake. You hear that?
I will do the dishes. I'll take it upon myself since y'all won't act all bougie.
Why must this woman use so many dishes?
You ate, didn't you? Well, shut up and finish them dishes.
Don't tell me what to do.
Why? I just tell Mama how you acting, and I let her deal with you.
Come on, B, that ain't that serious.
I thought so. Ain't that right, Tay?
It's not that many, Mom.
Says the one who's doing the least amount of work. You wanna switch?
Sorry, I'm good.
What's up with you, eh? Straight?
Yeah, I'm good. Ivan, you are too much. We're almost done anyway. Then we can watch Cheer Girls.
Ooh, and I can't wait. We gotta get those moves down packed if we're gonna beat Sierra and her cousins this year at the Jamboree. I can't afford to lose to them another year.
I thought Sierra went to Chicago.
She did, but like word on the street is she moved back for the summer to live with her grandma so she can like reclaim her title. Why, B? You don't want to see her or something?
Nah, it's not that. It's just... Look, man, y'all getting too old for this cheetah cuff stuff.
Never. I don't want to be like someone waiting for your friends to come and save me. Oh,
Y'all are the worst singers ever because it makes no sense. That show is ridiculous.
I'd rather rescue myself.
Rescue yourself from that. Where is your man of steel? What is he gonna do? Come here, Squirt. I need to get you to...
Stop, B! Stop, B!
Stop it. Brazen, stop.
Okay, I'm sorry. How was the movie?
Good, as always. Iman couldn't hang though.
You never can. You know, you're getting too old to be ticklish.
Yeah, I know. Are you ticklish?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
On my leg.
Come on, why aren't you laughing?
Because it's not the spot. It's higher up. Yeah. Now move your hand up and down. Now move your hand up and down. Why'd you stop?
Because I don't think you're ticklish. Besides, I promised my mom I'd be in bed by now.
Well, can I show you something in my room? Please. It'll only take a minute, and I promise you can go to bed.
I told them I'll find you out here. Brazen added some stuff to the car. You should come see it before Taylor breaks it. Hey, what's wrong with you?
Brazen came in the room last night. You were asleep.
Girl, is that it? He just likes the rough house. Sierra claims that he, sprained her wrist or something last year, but, you know how she is, one of them gold diggers. Aaliyah, it's nothing. God, don't be so dramatic.
Has Brazen been acting weird around you?
He's brazen. He's always weird. Weird how?
Like a shapeshifter. Like in the other movie that I watched at your mom's. At night, he just becomes someone different. Not himself.
Can you cut the riddles and just tell me?
Brazen took me in his room last night.
You been hanging around Sierra too much. She done got in your head and got you thinking all crazy.
I'm not thinking crazy, am I? I swear. And maybe Sarah wasn't either.
I swear to God, whatever you think you know, you don't. So just... Hey, thing all right? All right, baby girl, it's time to go. You sure you okay? All right. Bye, Mom.
You know you're getting too old to still be ticklish.
Aaliyah, it's nothing.
That's not the spot. Hurry up.
Mom? Mom?
Why are you here today?
Aaliyah's been having terrible nightmares. She's been waking up screaming and shaking every night. I don't know where it's coming from.
Welcome, Mr. Coleman. We were just getting started.
You're late.
I'm here, ain't I?
All right, Mr. and Mrs. Coleman.
Dr. Moore.
Dr. Moore, I apologize. Do either of you have a history of anxiety or depression? Any other mental illnesses? No? When did you first notice the behavior?
Shortly after her grandparents, a visit with her grandparents.
May Aaliyah and I have a moment alone, please?
I'll go get some coffee.
Dr. Moore, Mr. Coleman.
Is there anyone among you who is sick? Let us call the elders of the church to pray over them and to anoint them with oil in the name of the Lord. We rebuke you, devil, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.
Leave her, devil. Leave her. Yes, yes, Lord.
So nobody's gonna talk about what happened in this house?
You know I'm not one to air out our dirty laundry.
Look, Sophia, what's done is done. Nothing more you and I can do about it. Besides, Lil looks fine.
Fine? Are you kidding me, Calvin? She's far from that. It's okay. I know how to handle this.
Why you want to break up this family, huh?
I've got it.
I told her about putting that baby in those short skirts. I told her about it, Calvin. If she'd only listened to me just once. Just you're her father. You say something.
I know, Mama.
Man, what the hell is this?
Ready for cold?
This man.
You shut up. You shut your mouth up. Don't
you say I know
Stay seated. Hey, what's going on? Why y'all doing this?
Leave him alone. You didn't really think I wasn't gonna do anything, did you?
Hey, we don't gotta do this. What's going on? He ain't did nothing.
Oh
Look, you don't have to do this. I can help, I promise. Look, Aaliyah, tell me this is true. I'm sorry.
no! You ain't nothing but the devil! I rebuke you, Satan! I rebuke you in the name of the Lord! I rebuke you! Leave him alone! Somebody do something!
I'm sorry.
No! The hell? What's going on?
Hey, you brush your teeth and said your prayers?
Yes, ma'am.
No matter what, you'll always have me.
I know.
I love you. And nothing's ever gonna change that. All right? Lights out in 10.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Aaliyah!
Hey, movie lovers, stay tuned. Wednesday night at the movies. We'll be right back. Popcorn time. Welcome back, movie lovers. I'm Latangela Faye, and this is Wednesday Night at the Movies, presented by the Louisiana Film Channel. What a great show we've had so far. And now, settle in with your favorite movie snack, and let's pick up where we left off before the break.
Joined once again by Miss Jalea Jackson of Jalea Jackson Productions. Jalea, I gotta tell you, after someone who just watched the film, I was absolutely blown away. One of the best short films I've watched in a long time. I was glued from the opening shot, the panning over the house, the little girl sitting on the swing. I enjoyed all of it. You used a ton of shots. How did you decide which shots to use in this film?
Yeah, so I had just finished watching Moonlight, so I loved the flowing shots, the shots that weren't static, that kind of brought life to the film and to the images. I also really loved the oak tree. So we filmed in New Orleans, kind of somewhere in the bayou, and just kind of using all of that. So that's something that I really wanted to have in my shots. I also am an editor, so I shoot to edit, so I kind of see what I want to have within those shots, and then I kind of go from there. And my cinematographer, Daniel Waghorn, he was amazing. So he was able to take my shot list and kind of combine a few shots and say how we can do this, how we can work with that. And he also does drones. So that's kind of how we incorporated the use of drones, the Ronin, keeping everything very flowing and moving and not having so many static shots.
Look, almost everything in there was non-static, especially when you're in a room with the family. It seemed like the camera was constantly following one character or another. As a viewer, it made me feel like I was a character experiencing all of this with them. I enjoyed it, but let's switch to the subject matter of sexual assault. Why a film as hard-hitting as Sexual Assault?
Yeah, so this film is loosely based off of some of my experience, and I say loosely, very strictly, because it is, a fictional film. But as I mentioned in the opening, I had a mentor that was kind of saying, if you're sitting on a story that you're unwilling to share, then you're kind of being selfish. And I've always been a filmmaker that I wanted my films to speak to a greater purpose, a greater message, and kind of bringing the audience together to have a discussion on topics that are sometimes not talked about or hard to talk about. And I like to use film to kind of break those barriers. So whenever I heard my mentor kind of mentioning that, I was like, let me go ahead and share my source. That way I can, relate and communicate with other survivors as well, and just kind of using this film to bring it to the forefront.
Definitely, and I love how you made the viewer think. Like, we're watching the opening scene and we're trying to figure out where's this film going, and once Aaliyah is sitting there watching TV and Brazen comes in and joins her, then you see where it's going. But I feel like a lot of the film is up for interpretation. Let me start out by saying Aaliyah, star of the show. I mean, she didn't have a ton of lines, but her facial expressions, you could really feel the pain. But a couple of questions. Who is Brazen in relationship to Aaliyah? Because I first felt that maybe she was the older sister's boyfriend. Then I thought a direct relative. Who is Brazen in relationship to Aaliyah?
Yes, so Brazen is her older cousin. So all of the children in the film are related by either cousins or their siblings. So that's her older cousin in the film.
Okay, well, I definitely enjoyed the film. The ending I enjoyed. That's definitely up for interpretation. When she's sitting on the swing, all of her family members are pushing her in a different direction. What is you want the viewer to get out of that ending?
Yes, and it's funny because before I finished the film, I had my sister and some other people kind of view the film and kind of give me their first initial interpretation of it. And for me, like you kind of mentioned, Aaliyah doesn't talk a lot throughout the film. And after the incident, she actually doesn't really talk until kind of the scream, really. So for me, I kind of wanted to show that, as a young person, you're kind of trying to decide what to do, your decisions, who to listen to, who is going to be there to support you and believe you in a situation like this. So she's going back and forth between all of these different viewpoints, these different opinions. And for her, it's finally like a way for her to speak her own truth and to find her voice. But at the same time, I wanted to show that that's just the beginning of the healing process for her. And with a lot of survivors, it's sometimes a lifelong process of healing and coming to terms about what happened. So for me, I wanted to say, even though she's made that first step, she still has a ways to go in her healing process.
Well, look, I definitely enjoyed the film. I thought it was a success. What is next for Jalea Jackson, the filmmaker? Do you have any upcoming projects you'd like to talk about?
Yes and no. I work for a nonprofit, the Nate Parker Foundation, and I'm their producer and editor. So editing is what I absolutely love to do. So right now I'm just kind of trying to edit more, produce a little bit more, and just kind of go from there. I've done some editing on some feature films. That's kind of my goal, is try to do some more editing and really hone my skills in that aspect.
Okay, well, where can fans of this film go to learn more about you and what you do?
Yeah, they can visit my website, jaleajackson.com, and I have links to Things with Feathers, to my reel, and some of the other films that I've produced and edited, so they can check me out on there.
Well, Jalea, I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I can't wait to check out some more of your work. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Join the conversation now, live on Twitter. Meet the cast and get details on Louisiana Film Channel swag. Twitter alert now at #LAFilmChannel. I hope you're enjoying our Wednesday night at the movies. I'm LaTangela Faye, and each week here on the Louisiana Film Channel, we have a special called Hollywood on the Bayou, produced by our friend and mentor, Ed Poole. I can't wait to see what exciting part of Louisiana film history he has for us this week. Take it away, Ed.
Thanks, LaTangela. This week, we want to present a horror film that co-stars the great McNutt. Us baby boomers will remember him as the kiddie cartoon show host every Saturday morning.
But that has nothing to do with this film.
Yep, I know, but he also played Jesse James in the last Three Stooges movie.
But this film took its topic straight out of the current newspapers of the time.
And it won an Emmy for buzzing sounds.
And of course, it had to be Mardi Gras just to throw in some extra chaos.
It was so popular that a sequel was made 2 years later that was called Terror Out of the Sky. But it wasn't made here, so it really sucked.
While the film was only shown in the U.S. on television, it was released internationally in theaters.
So let's flash back to 1976 for the TV movie Savage Bees. When a swarm of killer bees from South America threatens New Orleans during Mardi Gras, a coroner, a Tulane entomologist, and a sheriff from a nearby parish are called upon to capture the swarm and save the city. This was the basic plot of the 1976 made-for-TV film Savage Bees, directed by Bruce Geller and starring Michael Parks, Ben Johnson, Gretchen Corbett, and James Best.
Some kind of bugs killed Seth? Bees. It's a stinger.
What makes you think there's something special about this one?
Scores of Brazilians were killed when they were attacked by swarms of the so-called Africanized bees. The Africanized bees attack when annoyed by color or sound.
It's the eeriest, most frightening thing I ever heard.
Close your doors and windows.
parade of local stars appeared in the film, including Wayne Mack, a popular star of local TV and radio, known to many baby boomers as the Great McNutt. Of course, the cast also included thousands of live local honeybees posing as Africanized killer bees. Savage Bees was shot entirely on location in and around New Orleans over 3 weeks in September of 1976. As is common in many of the movies shot in New Orleans, it's Mardi Gras, and the city's winding down its festivities. As the film reaches its climax, extras are seen on the streets with ashes on their foreheads. This means it's Ash Wednesday, the beginning of Lent and the end of Mardi Gras for another year. The most memorable scenes of the film involve a Volkswagen Beetle covered with live bees driving down the narrow streets of the French Quarter. The car continues through the Central Business District and into the Superdome, making its first cinematic appearance. The plot then calls for the dome's AC system to chill out the bees to allow the swarm to be captured. Locals thought the scenes were rather ironic since the year-old Superdome had continual problems with their cooling system. Dr. Norman Gary was the bee wrangler who trained the bees that appeared in the film. He also had a small part as a tractor driver who's attacked by killer bees and dives into a pond to safety. Dr. Gary used droplets of bee pheromone on the car surfaces and then released thousands of disoriented bees that clustered onto the car. While driving through the French Quarter, hundreds of bees flew from the car and were temporarily lost in the area. In an interview, Dr. Gary said that immediately after the director would yell "cut," he and his assistant would roam up and down the streets, each carrying a large cross held high and covered with pheromone to capture the stragglers. Prior to shooting, they cleared people and horse-drawn carriages from the street. He added that there was no public safety hazard and the bees were harmless because honeybees sting to defend their hive and are not inclined to sting when released in unfamiliar locations away from their hive. Savage Bees only screened on television in North America. When it premiered on November the 22nd, 1976, opposite Monday Night Football, its ratings made it the 6th most watched show of the week, positioned between episodes of two of the most popular shows of the time, Happy Days and MASH. It did not appear on international television, but instead was released to the theaters, producing these great movie posters. In 2010, while researching a Louisiana poster that we had acquired for our collection, we realized there was almost no documentation on the thousands of films that had been made here since 1898. That's when the first production company came to Louisiana. As collectors of Louisiana movie posters for over 40 years, Sue and I decided to use our personal collection to go on a quest to bring awareness to this problem. Since that time, we've written 6 books on Louisiana film history, recreated over 90 classic Louisiana film prints, given dozens of presentations and exhibits around the state. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Louisiana Film History Flashback. If you're interested in acquiring any of our material, want more information on our projects, or want to know how you can help us in this fight to preserve our film history, go to our website, Hollywood on the Bayou. We thank you and see you next time.
Hey, movie lovers, stay tuned. Wednesday night at the movies. We'll be right back. Popcorn time. Hope you are joining our conversation live on Twitter right now. We want you to comment on all of this. Now, each week here on the Louisiana Film Channel, we have a special called On Location, produced by Jamie Freeman. I can't wait to see where she takes us this week. Here is On Location.
Located in the heart of Baton Rouge, Celtic Media Center opened its doors in 2007 and has played host to some blockbuster movie productions, It's also hosted mega events like the Governor's Inaugural Ball. With 7 sound stages, Celtic is the largest film production studio in the state of Louisiana. Let's go check it out.
So my name is Aaron Baham. I'm the Director of Studio Operations here at Celtic Studios. So Celtic's been around since 2007. That's when we opened our doors. We're now a 40-acre full-service film and television studio located right in the heart of Baton Rouge. So we're 7 sound stages. What's unique about us is the amount of square footage and the size of the stages that we have. So our big stages range from 23 to 30,000 square feet each. We've got 150,000 total square feet of stage space, about 100,000 square feet of office space, and then around 50,000 square feet of support space for warehousing, effects workshops, prop storage, set deck, that kind of thing. So we've got a lot of room to spread out here. We also have some land that is undeveloped that we could, potentially use for exterior builds or, future expansion even. Well, when we first opened, it was a lot of the big tentpole, explosive, sci-fi, features. The first big feature that we had was a Sony Columbia feature called Battle Los Angeles. That was back in 2009. And then from there, we had Battleship, which was another, aliens versus Marines, or in that case, versus the Navy. We had Oblivion with Tom Cruise, which was another big sci-fi, tentpole. We had the last 2 Twilight films, Breaking Dawn Parts 1 and 2. We had The Host, which was based on a Stephenie Meyer novel. And then more recently, we've had a lot of television. So that's kind of where things have shifted with the new tax incentive program, which is good for us because that means hopefully you get a show that comes here and stays for a period of time. So just last year we had Paradise Lost, which was a Paramount for Spectrum. And so hopefully it'll come out on Paramount Network eventually, but right now it's a Spectrum original. And before that we had Greyhound, which was the Tom Hanks feature that now has been released on Apple. Well, right now we're just coming out of that lull from the coronavirus, pandemic, and so we're starting to see the wheels kind of turn again, and we're getting calls from studios who are looking for space for upcoming projects that have been, halted due to the pandemic. So right now we haven't had much shooting or rolling cameras. We've had a couple commercials roll in over the last month that are just 1 or 2 day shoots. We've had a small indie film that was done by a local filmmaker who shot here just 2 weeks ago, and so he used some of our locations on the lot. So we have a feature film that is planning on landing in the next week to open an office, and they would be shooting by mid-September. It's only about a week worth of shooting, but it'll be a month and a half to 2 months worth of activity for us.
From vampires to battleships to buildings in the sky, Celtic has seen it all, and we can't wait to see what's next.
The film industry in Louisiana is gearing up for a strong return to work. There are several productions that are opening up offices and preparing for what promises to be a very strong fall of 2020. For more information about what's happening in film, be sure to tune in next time on Location in Louisiana.
Well, that's a wrap on this week's show. Watch for our app coming to all platforms, including Apple TV, Android, Chromecast, and more. Thanks for joining the Twitter feed and tweeting live. I'm Latangela Faye for the Louisiana Film Channel. Thank you for joining me for this week's field trip, and I'll see you on the red carpet.